The chains were not supposed to break. They were made by the most powerful empire in the galaxy. They had crushed thousands of worlds, and no species had ever resisted. But today, something was different. That a human stood in the dust, blood running down his face. He was weak, that he was starving. He should have been afraid. Instead, he was smiling. And when the chain in his hand finally cracked, it was not just metal that broke. That it was the beginning of a war the aliens would never understand. It started in silence. In a warning. No message, just shadows in the sky. Huge alien ships covered the Earth, blocking the sun. Cities went dark. Satellites stopped working. Then came the attack, not loud, not chaotic, clean, fast, precise. The alien empire, known as the Xylar Dominion, did not come to negotiate. They came to take. Human weapons did nothing. Missiles disappeared before impact. Jets fell from the sky like broken birds. Within hours, Earth was no longer in control. Within days, it was over. Governments collapsed. Armies were destroyed. Billions were captured. And the survivors, they were labeled labor species, physically capable, mentally unstable, low threat. The Xylar thought they understood humans. They were wrong. The humans were separated, families torn apart, children taken, workers shipped across the stars, different planets, different camps, same purpose. Work, endless work, some mined deep underground, some built massive alien structures, some cleaned, carried, served. The conditions were brutal. Low oxygen, heavy gravity, extreme heat. Many collapsed, many died. The aliens watched without emotion. Them. Humans were just tools, weak, emotional, replaceable. And at first, humans acted exactly like that. They cried, they begged, they obeyed. Or at least that's what the aliens believed. On a mining world called Karth 9, something strange happened. A human worker fell. His leg was crushed under heavy stone. The bone snapped. The other workers froze. The alien overseer stepped forward, cold. Calm. It raised its weapon. Everyone expected the human to scream, but he didn't. Instead, he laughed. A weak, broken laugh, but real. The alien paused, confused. The human looked at his crushed leg, then at the overseer, and smiled. "Is that all?" he whispered. The overseer ended him instantly, but something had already changed. The other humans saw it, and they remembered. Days passed, then weeks, then months, and slowly, humans began to change. Not outside. Inside, they stopped crying as much. They stopped begging. They worked harder, faster, stronger. Not because they were forced to, but because they chose to. They started competing with each other. Who could lift more? Who could last longer without rest? Who could survive the worst pain? At a night in the dark tunnels, they trained quietly. Push-ups, running, fighting. Even with chains on their hands, they learned how to move, how to strike, how to endure. Some even smiled during it. The aliens noticed the increased productivity. They thought it was fear. They thought the humans had finally accepted their place. They did not see the truth. Humans are not breaking. They were preparing. Then came the day everything shifted. A human collapsed during work, too weak to continue. The alien guard walked over. Without hesitation, it struck him down. In front of everyone. A message. This is what happens to the weak. The body hit the ground. Silence followed. The aliens expected fear, panic, submission. But the humans did something else. They stood still, watching, not with fear, but with something deeper, something darker. That night, no one spoke loudly. Only whispers. One sentence passed from human to human like fire in the dark. If we must suffer, then let's make it count. The next day, a human stepped out of line. On purpose, he slowed his work, dropped tools, made noise. The alien guard noticed immediately. That IT approached him, angry, violent. The first strike hit hard. Then another, then another. The human fell to his knees, blood dripping, bones shaking. But he did not scream. He did not beg. Instead, he started laughing. Louder this time, clearer. The other humans looked up. The guard hesitated for just a second. That was enough. The human lifted his hands, still chained, still shaking, and grabbed the metal links. He pulled. Nothing happened. The guard struck him again, harder. The human coughed blood and smiled wider. Then he pulled again, muscles tearing, skin ripping, pain flooding his body. But something inside him loved it. The sound was small, but it echoed like thunder that crack. The chain broke for the first time in Xyler history. The guard froze. The entire work line stopped. O1 moved, and O1 breathed. The human slowly stood up, free hand shaking but no longer bound. He looked at the broken chain, then at the alien, and smiled. Not weak, not afraid. Something new, something dangerous. He stepped forward and said one word. Again, the aliens wanted slaves. What they created was something far worse, because humans didn't just fight back, they enjoyed it. And now, the war was no longer about freedom. It was about proving something to the entire galaxy. The broken chain did not stay a secret. It spread from one worker to another, from one camp to the next, from one planet to many messages. No technology, just whispers. The chains can break. At first, the aliens ignored it. Rumors always happened in slave populations, but then reports started coming into a guard missing, that a tool turned into a weapon, that a work line refusing to move. Small things, but too many, too fast. On Karth 9 it began. The same human who broke the chain stood in the center of the work field. This time he was not alone. 10 humans stood behind him. Then 20, then more. The alien guards arrived quickly. Weapons raised, orders given, return to work. No one moved. The human stepped forward, still bleeding, still weak, still smiling. The first shot was fired. IT hit him in the chest. He fell. Silence. Then he started laughing again, and behind him, the others charged. It was not organized. That IT was not cleaned. IT was chaos. Humans grabbed tools, rocks, broken metal. They attacked without fear, without hesitation. Even when they were hit, they kept moving. Even when they fell, others stepped forward. The guards were trained, precise, controlled. But they were not ready for this. They were not ready for enemies who did not fear pain. They were not ready for enemies who ran toward death. Within minutes, the first camp fell. The rebellion spread like fire. Other camps saw it, heard it, felt it, and they rose too. On mining worlds, factory stations, transport ships. Humans attacked. Sometimes they won, sometimes they died. But they never stopped. And that was the problem. Because for the Xyler Dominion, war had always been simple. You show power, the enemy breaks, but humans did not break. They changed. The aliens tried to understand. They captured humans, studied them, ran tests, measured brain activity, blood chemistry, and what they found terrified them. During extreme stress, during pain, during combat, human bodies released powerful chemicals, adrenaline, endorphins, chemicals that made them stronger, faster, more focused, and in some cases, happy. Not all humans, but enough to change everything. Because now the Xyler faced something new. A species that could turn suffering into strength. A species that could turn war into purpose. The Dominion responded with force. Entire fleets were deployed. Planets were locked down. Orders were clear. Crush the humans. Completely. And for a moment, it seemed like they might succeed. Cities burned. Camps were destroyed. Thousands of humans died. But the survivors learned, adapted. They stole alien weapons, learned how to use them, modified them. They captured ships, figured out controls, crude at first, then better, then deadly. They did not fight like the Xyler. They did not follow patterns. They were unpredictable, wild, relentless, and worst of all, they were enjoying it. Soon, the war was no longer hidden. IT spread across systems. Other alien species watched in shock. Some were afraid. Some were inspired. A few quietly helped the humans, gave them information, weak points, supply routes, because deep down, many species had lived in fear of the Xyler. Humans are the first to fight back, and they were not losing. The Dominion grew desperate. They sent their strongest fleet, warships that had destroyed entire civilizations, commanded by their best leaders. Cold, logical, perfect, the final solution, ended in one battle. Ended completely. The humans met them in open space, not with perfect ships, not with perfect plans, but with something else. Stolen vessels, damaged hulls, weapons barely held together, and crews who were smiling. The battle began. Alien ships moved in perfect formation, precise, calculated, Human ships charged straight at them. In no feared, in no hesitation. Explosions lit the darkness. Ships collided. Boarding parties launched. Inside burning corridors, humans fought face to face, close, brutal, personal. Even when outmatched, they did not retreat. Even when injured, they did not stop. The aliens began to realize something. They were not fighting for survival. They were fighting for control. But the humans, they were fighting because they wanted to. The turning point came suddenly. A group of human ships broke through the main line. Not by strategy, WY sacrifice. They rammed directly into the command vessel. The explosion tore through the fleet. Confusion spread. Formation broke. And that was enough. Humans surged forward, attacking from every direction. Unpredictable. Relentless. Overwhelming. For the first time in its history, the Xylar Dominion began to retreat. Silence followed the battle. Broken ships drifted in space. Fires slowly died. And among the wreckage, human ships remained, damaged, barely holding together, but still there, still alive, still standing. A message was sent, not just to the Xylar the entire galaxy. Simple, clear, impossible to ignore. You wanted slaves, but you gave us war. On the surface of a ruined world, a human stood alone, armor broken, face covered in blood and ash, watching the sky, watching the enemy flee. Another human walked up beside him, tired, wounded. Is it over? He asked. The first human stayed silent for a moment. Then he smiled. That same smile, the one the aliens never understood. No, he said quietly. Now we're just getting started.